Hey everyone, welcome. On this channel, we're going to get into an advanced look at the story Disastrous Necromancer. Come with me as we unravel the journey of Lin Moyu, from his beginnings to him becoming a force to be reckoned with in a mysterious new world. If this story sounds like something you'll enjoy, please like, share, and comment. Your support helps us keep providing these in-depth looks into the world of Disastrous Necromancer. Now let's continue.
The House Saint Sovereign looked at the shameless old guys and said in a low voice, "I'll bet with you. I bet Lin Moyu won't crash into the ground. Each of you bet 1 million units of belief power. If I lose, I'll pay double. Do you dare to bet?" The House Saint Sovereign's sudden proposal made these old guys even more excited. Bet, why not bet? If I can win against a Saint Sovereign, I'll have something to brag about. Saint Sovereign, you better not regret it. And Saint Sovereign, you can't intervene. The House Saint Sovereign laughed, "Just don't regret it yourselves. I won't intervene." He then looked at Lin Moyu, who had just flown out, and said calmly, "Kid, don't embarrass me." The House Saint Sovereign had plenty of belief power. He was purely doing this to get back at these old guys for making fun of him earlier. Moreover, he believed in Lin Moyu. When Lin Moyu had just flown out, his face was too calm, without a trace of panic. There was also a mysterious look in his eyes that was quite moving. So, on a whim, he made this bet. As a Saint Sovereign, he wasn't afraid of these old guys reneging on their bets. No one dared to do that to a Saint Sovereign. Lin Moyu felt an irresistible force surge into his body, causing him to lose control. He first flew high into the sky and then plummeted like a meteor. The final result would inevitably be a head-first crash into the ground, creating a big pit. That scene would undoubtedly be very embarrassing. So this is what the House Saint Sovereign meant by embarrassing. Lin Moyu vaguely saw the situation on the ground. The ancestors seemed very excited, pointing and talking about him. Are they trying to watch a joke? Lin Moyu let out a light shout, and his whole body burst into purple gold light. The purple gold body fully activated, the light flowing and dispelling the external force. At the same time, the only undying law in his body exploded, the power of death eradicating the external force, and the power of life providing his body with vigorous vitality. In almost the blink of an eye, Lin Moyu regained control of his body. The fully activated purple gold body brought Lin Moyu immense strength, allowing him to fly in the air. Even if the laws were restricted, as long as his physical strength reached a certain level, he could still fly freely. Lin Moyu slowly descended from the sky, looking at the shocked crowd with a slight smile. "Seniors, what's wrong?" The stunned ancestors quickly recovered and repeatedly said, "Nothing, nothing." But their expressions clearly showed that it was not nothing. Each of them had a bitter look, as if they were in great pain. The House Saint Sovereign laughed heartily as he walked over. "They lost the bet and are feeling the pain. Hurry up and hand over the bets, don't make me do it myself." Facing the Saint Sovereign, they didn't dare to renege on their bets. The ancestors, with bitter faces, said, "The Saint Sovereign is indeed the Saint Sovereign. We won't bet with you again." The House Saint Sovereign laughed, "If you dare to make fun of me behind my back again, see how I deal with you." The ancestors, with forced smiles, repeatedly said they wouldn't dare, each taking out belief tokens and handing them to the House Saint Sovereign. Lin Moyu was puzzled. Aren't belief tokens unique to the Bai family? The House Saint Sovereign explained, indeed, they are unique to the Bai family. However, the method to make belief tokens was handed over to the Human Emperor Network long ago. As long as you reach the peak God Sovereign level and have enough merit points, you can exchange for them. These old guys have all exchanged for them. They usually make belief tokens to reward their juniors. Each belief token contained 100,000 units of belief power. The House Saint Sovereign's bet with them was 1 million units of belief power each. There were 30 participants in the bet, and the House Saint Sovereign instantly earned 30 million units of belief power. It was no small amount, already exceeding Lin Moyu's entire wealth. The House Saint Sovereign directly handed all 300 belief tokens to Lin Moyu. "Take them." Lin Moyu said, "This is too valuable." The House Saint Sovereign shook his head. "It's not valuable. Given your contributions, this is nothing." Lin Moyu didn't refuse further and accepted them readily. "Follow me." The House Saint Sovereign led Lin Moyu out of the village. Before leaving, he warned the old guys with his eyes to behave. The ancestors, with bitter faces, knew that 1 million units of belief power were no small amount for them. Returning to the entrance of Cloud Mist Mountain, the House Saint Sovereign asked in a low voice, "How was it? Did you gain anything?" Lin Moyu replied, "How did you know I gained something?" The House Saint Sovereign said, "I'm a Saint Sovereign, after all. Do you think it's that easy to hide things from me?" Lin Moyu immediately flattered, "The Saint Sovereign's insight is indeed sharp." Enough with the flattery, just tell me. Lin Moyu smiled. I did gain something, but I need to verify it. He explained his guesses and thoughts. The Hao Saint Sovereign frowned. So you mean, the first 400 choices purely test luck? As long as the luck is good, any choice will do. After 400 choices, a mysterious force intervenes, requiring a different approach. Lin Moyu nodded. That's my feeling. However, I haven't figured out the method yet, so I want to go back in and try again. The Hao Saint Sovereign said, you didn't take the fragmentary inheritance because you think it's not a reward but a trap. It does seem possible, those who took the fragmentary inheritance didn't perform well in subsequent tests. We thought it was because their luck ran out, but it turns out to be something else. Lin Moyu said, although I didn't take the reward, I can imagine that taking the fragmentary inheritance might permanently solidify that mysterious force. When I came out just now, the mysterious force had already dissipated. The Hao Saint Sovereign nodded, then go back in and try again. I hope you gain something. Lin Moyu was about to go back in when he suddenly turned and asked, Saint Sovereign, is this inheritance very important? The Hao Saint Sovereign replied, it's important, but not crucial. We have a plan, and having this inheritance would be beneficial. I understand. Lin Moyu re-entered Cloud Mist Mountain. Since the Hao Saint Sovereign said it was useful, it was clearly important. Therefore, he would do his best. The ancestors in the village watched Lin Moyu re-enter Cloud Mist Mountain, all curious. Why did he go back in? Isn't he too hasty? He just came out, and his luck is used up. Going back in will yield poor results. Strange, the Hao Saint Sovereign should know this. Why didn't he stop him? They were all experienced and knew that if you were just blasted out and immediately returned, the results would be poor. It was better to wait a while before going back in. They explained it as luck being used up and needing time to recover. After Lin Moyu went back in, the Hao Saint Sovereign returned to the village and said to everyone, those who have taken the fragmentary inheritance, come over. Out of the 50 people in the village, more than half had taken the fragmentary inheritance. The Hao Saint Sovereign called them over and carefully inquired about the changes after they took the fragmentary inheritance. He found that their experiences matched Lin Moyu's description. None of them had surpassed their best results in subsequent tests. The best among them only came close to their best results. The Hao Saint Sovereign didn't explain further. After asking, he let them leave and looked at Cloud Mist Mountain again, his voice low. I hope this time there will be gains. In the mountains, Lin Moyu felt a stronger suppression than outside. The omnipresent mist became shackles, and even though his physical strength was sufficient, he couldn't fly in the forest. Lin Moyu pushed his speed to the limit, almost sprinting along the green jade path. Every time he reached a fork, he made a choice without hesitation, always choosing the leftmost path. Time and again, for 400 times, he did the same. The results once again verified Lin Moyu's hypothesis. For the first 400 choices, no matter what he chose, it was correct. It was his luck that determined the final result. The choice itself was not important, but luck was. After 400 choices, in addition to luck, some other judgment was needed. After 400 choices, if he chose incorrectly, the mysterious force would suppress his luck until it was exhausted, leading to a dead end. Lin Moyu knew very well what he needed to do. After the 400th choice, he had to find the correct path by distinguishing between right and wrong. The Cloud Mist sect would not choose a successor based solely on luck. They also valued analytical and judgmental abilities. Of course, luck was still very important. If one's luck was bad, they wouldn't even get past the first 400 choices, let alone the later ones. In just 1 hour, Lin Moyu stood at the 401st fork. In front of him were 4 different paths. The 4 green jade paths looked identical, except for some differences in the grass beside them. Other than that, there were no distinguishing features. Lin Moyu had noticed the grass before. Each path had differences, but they didn't form a pattern. He didn't think the choice was based on the changes in the grass. What is the new test added by the Cloud Mist sect? Lin Moyu fell into deep thought, trying to think from the perspective of the Cloud Mist sect. A powerful sect that valued luck would have certain requirements for its disciples during inheritance. Luck was one aspect, but what about the other aspects? Character, comprehension, analytical ability, responsibility? All seem possible. Some things can't be tested, like character, which is hard to see without encountering significant events. So the most likely aspect is comprehension, which is closely related to intelligence, sensitivity, and talent. If it's a test of comprehension, how should it be comprehended? Lin Moyu looked at the dense mist tens of meters away. The mist was not static but slowly rolling, like clouds in the sky. Clouds rise and fall, unpredictable. Lin Moyu thought of the name Cloud Mist Sect, and a gleam of understanding flashed in his eyes. Cloud Mist Sect. The name might not refer to clouds and mist but to luck. Luck is like clouds and mist, hard to grasp, with ups and downs. The same person has different luck at different times, sometimes extremely lucky, sometimes very unlucky. So, the essence of the Cloud Mist Sect is luck. What about these 4 paths? Lin Moyu looked at the 4 green jade paths and the mist above them. He watched the constantly changing mist, and gradually, a confident smile appeared on his lips. I understand now. The mist was always changing, representing that the 4 green jade paths were also constantly changing. No path was entirely correct. Right or wrong depended on the changes in the mist when stepping onto the path. At any given moment, one of the 4 paths would have more mist above it, while the other 3 would have relatively less. The path with more mist at that moment was the correct one. Based on his judgment, Lin Moyu chose the path with more mist and quickly moved forward. He swiftly covered the 20 meters of the green jade path and 20 steps, reaching the end. No mysterious force descended, and as he reached the end, the mist cleared, revealing 4 new paths. Lin Moyu observed the changes in the mist and found the correct path. This time, it's the second from the left. He silently noted and quickly moved forward. The mist was constantly changing. At this moment, the second path from the left had denser mist, but it might not be the same after a while. So even if he chose the correct path, there could still be unexpected changes before reaching the end. Moreover, the mist's changing speed was uncertain. It could be fast or slow. It was possible that halfway through, the mist's density would change, turning the correct path into the wrong one, and the mysterious force would descend directly. This aspect relied entirely on luck. Lin Moyu could only minimize his time on the green jade path. In the end, the Cloud Mist Sect never abandoned the test of luck, they just changed its form. Sometimes, the mist on the 4 green jade paths was very similar, with differences of less than 1%. Ordinary people would find it hard to sense this 1% difference, but it was not difficult for Lin Moyu. With his soul's sensitivity, he could detect even 1,000th of a difference. The subsequent journey became smoother, and Lin Moyu moved more confidently. Once he grasped the rules, it was no longer difficult for him. After another 100 choices, Lin Moyu stopped at a fork. He faced the 501st choice, with 100 more forks to go. The situation changed again. There were still 4 green jade paths, and the mist still varied in density, but Lin Moyu felt something different. He sensed an inexplicable force on the green jade paths, like an unknown power. Is the real test starting in the last 100 choices? Lin Moyu murmured to himself, not acting immediately. He needed to observe carefully before moving. This test didn't require speed, so there was no need to rush. The first 400 choices rely solely on luck. From the 401st to the 500th choice, understanding the changes in the mist ensures smooth progress. Starting from the 501st choice, besides luck and comprehension, what else is being tested? The changes on the green jade paths seem familiar, like I've seen them somewhere before. Lin Moyu pondered, and distant memories resurfaced, bringing a sense of familiarity. The small world, the divine selection secret realm, the power of divinity. Lin Moyu suddenly felt that the green jade paths before him were similar to the paths in the divine selection secret realm of the small world. The divine selection secret realm targeted the spiritual world, which, from his current perspective, actually targeted the soul. The green jade paths before him should also include a test of the soul. First luck, then comprehension, and now a test of the soul. In ancient times, the tests of major sects were not explicitly stated, they required personal comprehension. The tests were not easy, requiring luck, talent, and strength. Lin Moyu fully understood that the final green jade paths tested not only luck and comprehension but also the soul. I wonder what the soul requirement is. Is my soul up to the standard? Taking a deep breath, Lin Moyu chose the correct path and stepped onto it. Boom! A powerful force struck his soul world. His soul world trembled violently, causing Lin Moyu to pause momentarily before returning to normal. Lin Moyu quickly crossed the green jade path, reaching the end before the mist changed. 4 new green jade paths appeared before him, and Lin Moyu stood still. The soul impact is equivalent to a high-stage god sovereign, still within bearable range. It seems the Cloud Mist sect's minimum standard for selecting a successor is a high-stage god sovereign. Lin Moyu gradually understood the Cloud Mist sect. It was a very peculiar sect. When they recruited disciples, the first thing they valued was not talent or aptitude but luck. Only those with sufficient luck were qualified to join the sect. After luck, they also required decent comprehension and good soul strength. The latter two were not difficult to enhance. Some rare treasures could improve comprehension and strengthen the soul. Lin Moyu believed that in the ancient times when the great world was incredibly resource-rich, such treasures were not uncommon. But luck was naturally determined. Although it could fluctuate, its upper limit was essentially fixed. So the most important factor was luck. Everything else was just a bonus. As long as one's luck was good enough, even if they didn't obtain the best inheritance, they would still gain something. Lin Moyu made choices repeatedly, enduring soul impacts. As he got closer to the end, the intensity of the soul impacts increased, but fortunately, it didn't exceed the high-stage God Sovereign level. This further validated Lin Moyu's guess that the soul was just a bonus factor. If the Supreme who controlled the inheritance of the Cloud Mist sect were still alive in ancient times, anyone who made it through the choices would be qualified to receive the Cloud Mist sect's inheritance. Unfortunately, that Supreme was no longer around, leaving only the rules. The rules wouldn't change. Without reaching the end, one couldn't obtain the inheritance. Finally, after completing the 600th Green Jade Path, Lin Moyu truly stepped onto the mountain top. The dense fog in front of him cleared, revealing a massive palace. The enormous palace exuded an ancient aura, the aura of time. Majestic energy surged from within the palace, as if countless powerful beings resided inside. Looking at it, Lin Moyu felt as if he could sense the might of ancient times. The dense fog turned into clouds, drifting above the palace, and behind it was a pagoda. Lin Moyu felt immense pressure from the clouds, indicating that he couldn't reach the pagoda from the top of the palace. Congratulations on passing the path of inheritance. Please enter the Cloud Mist Palace to receive the inheritance baptism. A reminder sounded in Lin Moyu's ear, identical to the one he heard when he first stepped into Cloud Mist Mountain. After carefully admiring the Cloud Mist Palace, Lin Moyu strode inside. In the village at the foot of the mountain, someone suddenly exclaimed, pointing at the mountain top in shock, "Look, there's someone on the mountain." The ancestors all looked up towards the mountain top. Above the clouds, they indeed saw a person there. Due to the distance and the fog, they couldn't see clearly. But based on the figure and clothing, they confirmed that the person on the mountain top was Lin Moyu. He really made it up there. By the Saint Sovereign, how did he do it? It's incredible. Could we have been wrong? Maybe you don't need to wait after being eliminated. You can enter immediately. I don't think so. We've tried so many times. We shouldn't be wrong. Then how did he get up there? I don't know. We'll have to wait for him to come back and ask. The Hao Saint Sovereign also saw Lin Moyu and clenched his fist. Well done. His eyes showed excitement. Lin Moyu entered the Cloud Mist Palace, where clouds and mist also drifted, creating a dreamlike realm. The Cloud Mist sect lived up to its name, with clouds and mist everywhere. The drifting clouds and mist also symbolized the unpredictability of luck. Clouds and mist swirled around Lin Moyu, spinning continuously. Lin Moyu looked puzzled. Is this the inheritance baptism? He didn't feel any changes. The so-called inheritance baptism should bring some changes. You didn't make a single mistake? A clear voice, filled with surprise and disbelief, echoed in the hall. Someone? Lin Moyu looked around and saw a thick white cloud rapidly condensing in midair in front of him. On the white cloud sat a girl who looked about 18 or 19, lazily lounging. An artifact spirit, Lin Moyu immediately recognized that she was not a living being but an artifact spirit. Whether she was the artifact spirit of the Cloud Mist Palace or another artifact spirit was unknown. The girl rubbed her eyes and then glared at Lin Moyu. Hey, I'm talking to you. Why aren't you answering? Lin Moyu replied, I indeed didn't make a single mistake. The girl looked him up and down with wide eyes. You don't look very smart. How did you not make a single mistake? Could it be that your luck is so good that you always chose correctly? Lin Moyu didn't respond. From the girl's words, he could tell that she didn't actually know the specifics of the test in Cloud Mist Mountain. Perhaps she was only in charge of the palace and the results. The girl suddenly waved her hand. Let's just say you have good luck. According to the rules, you are qualified to become a true disciple and enter the Inheritance Pagoda. But let me warn you, entering the Inheritance Pagoda is dangerous. You might get trapped inside and never come out. Moreover, there are many inheritances in the Inheritance Pagoda. The probability of getting the best inheritance is less than half. And the probability of getting trapped inside is over 70%. If you don't want to go in, you can receive the inheritance here. I can choose a good inheritance for you. It might not be worse than what's in the Inheritance Pagoda. Think carefully before making a choice. Lin Moyu felt that the girl wasn't telling the truth. She seemed to not want him to enter the Inheritance Pagoda to get the inheritance. Lin Moyu thought for a moment, showing a hint of hesitation. Senior, is the Inheritance Pagoda really that dangerous? The girl coughed, seemingly a bit displeased. Do you think I would lie to you? The inheritance pagoda is indeed that dangerous. Out of 10 people who enter, only 1 or 2 get a good inheritance. Most get trapped inside for hundreds or thousands of years before coming out. So I advise you to honestly choose an inheritance here. I see that your aptitude is average, your realm is only at the first stage of God Sovereign, and your strength is weak. You just have good luck. Getting here is already impressive. I advise you not to risk entering the inheritance pagoda. I can help you choose the best inheritance in the Cloud Mist Palace, which won't be worse than what's in the inheritance pagoda. Although she acted as if she was doing it for Lin Moyu's good, he could sense that she genuinely didn't want him to enter the inheritance pagoda. But why would she care? They were strangers. What was the artifact spirit's true motive? With too little information, Lin Moyu couldn't make a judgment yet. He decided to chat with her more, hoping to get more useful information. He slowly asked, "Senior, how long has it been since anyone came here?" The girl frowned. "Many years." She isn't sure either, Lin Moyu thought, considering the possibility. He continued, "Senior, what happened to those who got trapped in the inheritance pagoda?" The girl snorted, "Nothing much. They were trapped for hundreds or thousands of years and then left." What did they do while trapped? What could they do? They were just trapped. Is the inheritance in the inheritance pagoda really that difficult? Of course, it's difficult. The more difficult it was, the stronger it would be. Lin Moyu got another key piece of information from the girl. Although the inheritance pagoda could trap people, it wouldn't kill them. After hundreds or thousands of years, they could still leave. This contradicted the girl's earlier statement about the dangers of the inheritance pagoda. Her words were exaggerated. She didn't want him to enter the inheritance pagoda for some other reason. Lin Moyu asked a few more inconsequential questions, all of which were answered by the girl. The girl seemed to answer every question, and Lin Moyu guessed that there must be some restriction requiring her to respond. From her answers, Lin Moyu gathered a lot of information and also found some contradictions in her words. These contradictions mostly expressed the girl's unwillingness for him to enter the inheritance pagoda. Having made up his mind, Lin Moyu decided he must enter the inheritance pagoda. Even if there was danger inside, he had to give it a try. Moreover, there was no real danger inside. At most, he would be trapped for a while. Lin Moyu had confidence in himself. He believed that even if he were trapped inside, it wouldn't be for long. The girl finally got annoyed, frowning, "You've been asking this and that. Have you made your choice yet?" Lin Moyu smiled, "Senior, may I ask your esteemed name?" The girl replied, "You can call me Lord Mist. Have you made your choice yet?" Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry. "Lord Mist, you must have been asleep for a long time before I arrived, right?" The girl's expression changed, and she blurted out, "How did you know?" Realizing she had misspoken, she quickly corrected herself, "I just like to sleep." "Why are you asking this?" Lin Moyu said, "It seems Lord Mist has been asleep for a long time and doesn't know how the outside world has changed." Lord Mist was taken aback. The outside world? Lin Moyu continued, "Lord Mist should be able to sense that the Supreme of the Cloud Mist sect is no longer here." Lord Mist finally reacted, as if waking from a long sleep. "What happened to the outside world?" Lin Moyu asked, "Do you know how long you've been asleep this time?" Lord Mist's eyes showed confusion. Although she didn't answer, Lin Moyu already knew the answer. He knew that Lord Mist had no idea how long she had been asleep or what had happened outside. If he hadn't appeared here, she would have continued sleeping. Thinking this way, this artifact spirit seemed somewhat pitiful. Lin Moyu asked, "Lord Mist, you are the artifact spirit of the Inheritance Pagoda and the Cloud Mist Palace, right?" Lord Mist bristled, shouting, "How did you know?" Realizing she had misspoken again, she added, "Whether I'm an artifact spirit or not is none of your business." Lin Moyu smiled, "I guess if I enter the Inheritance Pagoda and obtain the highest inheritance, I will become your master. You don't want anyone to control you, so you don't want me to enter the Inheritance Pagoda. Am I right?" Lord Mist fell silent, her expression extremely complex. Lin Moyu knew he had hit the mark. Actually, it's understandable. It's human nature, and the same goes for artifact spirits. Lord Mist stared blankly at Lin Moyu, then snorted, "What do you know? You're not an artifact spirit." Lin Moyu said, "I'm not an artifact spirit, but I've dealt with them, so I understand." "No wonder you figured it out. You knew from the start." Lord Mist finally realized that Lin Moyu had been probing her all along. Lin Moyu laughed, "Lord Mist, I choose to enter the Inheritance Pagoda. Please open the door for me." Bound by the rules, Lord Mist had no choice but to comply. She snorted, and the dense mist in the Cloud Mist Palace rolled, forming a path leading straight to the top of the palace. At the top of the palace was the Inheritance Pagoda. Lin Moyu stepped forward, and Lord Mist urgently called out, You haven't told me what happened outside. Lin Moyu smiled, no rush. I'll tell you everything once I obtain the inheritance. And I'll tell you a secret. With that, he walked up step by step, and Lord Mist could only watch helplessly, unable to stop him. As an artifact spirit, she had many restrictions. This was the inheritance site of the Cloud Mist sect, also a rule world of a powerful being. In such an environment, her former master couldn't have given her too much authority. Instead, there would be many restrictions. At most, she could assist and do what she could. Lin Moyu guessed that she must have been very busy in the past. There should have been many people in the Cloud Mist sect, and the more people who came here, the busier she would be. But when everyone was gone, she fell into a deep sleep. Upon waking, she didn't know what had happened or how much time had passed. She only had her past memories, so she didn't want to be so busy again and wanted some freedom. Unfortunately, she would never have freedom. She didn't know that if Lin Moyu chose the inheritance in the Cloud Mist Palace and then left, she would instantly fall back into a deep sleep. Compared to the artifact spirits he had seen before, this Lord Mist seemed somewhat pitiful. Unable to control her own life, she was a great tragedy. Lin Moyu stepped onto the Cloud Mist steps and entered the inheritance pagoda. The scene before him changed, revealing an independent space completely different from the outside world. Here, Lin Moyu felt a peculiar aura, similar to Law's but seemingly higher than Law's. At this moment, Lord Mist reappeared in his sight. Lord Mist's attitude had changed, now filled with helplessness. All right, now that you're here, let's start the inheritance test according to the rules. I'll tell you the specific rules of the inheritance, but you also promised to tell me what happened outside and the secret you mentioned. Lin Moyu said, rest assured, Lord Mist, I will tell you everything that happened outside and the secret. Telling him the rules of the test was something she had to do. However, she could also manipulate the information, perhaps omitting a word or two. Sometimes, a single word could change the entire meaning of a sentence, causing significant trouble. Artifact spirits are bound by rules, but the rules can't restrict them entirely. Artifact spirits have their own intelligence, can think independently, and have their own consciousness. Lord Mist said seriously, the inheritance pagoda has 10 levels. The highest inheritance is on the 10th level, but the test focuses on the first 9 levels. Every 3 levels form a stage, divided into lower, middle, and upper stages. It's both a test and a rating for the sect's successors. The first 3 levels are for ordinary successors, the middle 3 levels for core successors, and the upper 3 levels for grand successors. If you can surpass the 9th level, you can obtain the highest inheritance and become the master of the inheritance pagoda. At this point, Lord Mist paused before continuing with the specific rules of the test. The first stage is the test of the lower 3 levels. In the lower 3 levels, there is a technique you need to comprehend. Comprehend it initially to enter the 2nd level. Comprehend it to a small degree to enter the 3rd level. Comprehend it fully to enter the 4th level. As for the rules of the 4th level, I'll tell you when you get there. Now, listen carefully to my reminders. Lin Moyu listened attentively, not missing a single word. This technique, although a basic technique of the Cloud Mist sect, should not be underestimated. Many techniques of the Cloud Mist sect are based on it. When comprehending it, you must not have any omissions and must not rush. Otherwise, you won't pass the subsequent tests. Also, comprehending this technique consumes a lot of soul power, so be prepared. The technique is in the mist. Go and comprehend it. In the center of the inheritance pagoda, a mass of mist floated. The Cloud Mist sect was associated with mist everywhere, even using it for inheritance. Lin Moyu communicated with the mist using his soul, and the mist immediately drilled into his soul power. In his soul world, a mass of mist appeared, rolling continuously, transmitting a large amount of information. Lin Moyu knew he needed to comprehend this technique and transform it into a technique star. As long as he could transform the mist into a technique star, it would mean he had mastered this technique, at least reaching the entry level. Does this kind of inheritance have any meaning? Lin Moyu wondered. Technique stars are formed postnatally, like the soul-splitting technique taught by Antares, which can never become a technique star. If it can't become a technique star, its power is very limited, and the improvement to strength is also relatively limited. However, since the Cloud Mist sect did this, there must be a deeper meaning. Many things from ancient times, Lin Moyu still didn't understand. There seemed to be some difference between the strong of that time and the strong of today. Since he was already here, he had only one path to take: comprehend the technique. If he couldn't comprehend it, he would be trapped here for at least decades or centuries, or even thousands of years. Lin Moyu had confidence in his comprehension and was diligently digesting the transmitted information. Soon, he learned the name of the technique: luck detection technique. The purpose of the luck detection technique is to detect the luck of all things. But it is not completely accurate, only about 80 to 90% correct. The key is not the technique itself but the philosophy of the Cloud Mist sect contained within it. The Cloud Mist sect had a completely different view of the entire world. After absorbing the philosophy of the Cloud Mist sect, Lin Moyu was stunned on the spot. If living beings have luck, he could understand that. But the idea that everything has luck was beyond his imagination. In the philosophy of the Cloud Mist sect, everything in the world has luck. Even a stone has good or bad luck. A stone with good luck might exist for 10,000 years, or even 100,000 years. But a stone with bad luck might be smashed to dust in the next second. Everything is like this: when luck is bad, misfortune befalls, and even death can occur. Too profound. Lin Moyu felt very uncomfortable. Since he started cultivating, he had seen many strange things, but no matter what, he could always find the root cause and understand why. But the philosophy of the Cloud Mist sect broke his viewpoint. In the philosophy of the Cloud Mist sect, everything indeed has luck, but luck is constantly changing. It might be very good now, but bad luck could descend in the next second. For example, 1 second you think someone can live a long life, and the next second you feel they are about to die. The Cloud Mist sect's explanation is that luck changes instantly, and nothing is fixed at any point. In this way, the luck detection technique seems unimportant. After all, what does it matter if you see it? Good now doesn't mean good later. Lin Moyu felt a bit chaotic, feeling very uncomfortable. His established cognition was broken, and this feeling was hard to bear. His brows furrowed tighter and tighter, unable to understand. Lord Mist sat on a white cloud, blinking her bright eyes at Lin Moyu. Seeing Lin Moyu's changing expression, she sighed deeply. I told you not to come to the Inheritance Pagoda, but you wouldn't listen. Now look, don't drive yourself crazy. Lin Moyu's thoughts were indeed a bit chaotic. The philosophy of the Cloud Mist sect conflicted greatly with his original views, representing a different understanding of the entire world, irreconcilable. His mind kept turning, and Lin Moyu kept telling himself, there must be a common ground. Just because I haven't found it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. As long as I can find the common ground, I can understand why. He vaguely felt that the philosophy of the Cloud Mist sect contained some kind of truth. As long as he could understand this truth, he could combine his old views with the Cloud Mist sect's views, allowing the two to merge rather than conflict. Understanding and absorbing the philosophy of the Cloud Mist sect was the first step. If he couldn't do this, he couldn't even talk about comprehending the luck detection technique. Even if he forced comprehension, he could only reach the entry level, never mastering it. But what is the common ground? Lin Moyu's mind turned rapidly, sorting through his entire worldview. This was a vast project, very difficult. Days passed, and Lin Moyu sat there motionless. At the foot of Cloud Mist Mountain, the Hao Saint Sovereign stood like a statue, quietly watching the Inheritance Pagoda at the mountain top. The first level of the Inheritance Pagoda was faintly glowing, indicating that Lin Moyu had entered. The Hao Saint Sovereign believed Lin Moyu was receiving the inheritance. The time to receive the inheritance could be long or short, possibly just a few days. It could also be very slow, taking years or even decades. The Hao Saint Sovereign had prepared for the worst and was waiting here, watching. As a Saint Sovereign, he could afford to wait. 100 days passed in the blink of an eye, and Lin Moyu's entire aura was surging, indicating the turmoil in his heart. He had completely overturned his memory, integrating his understanding of the Cloud Mist sect's philosophy into every experience. He simulated past events in his soul, considering how they would change if viewed through the Cloud Mist sect's philosophy. During this time, his soul power was rapidly consumed, but fortunately, he had the World Tree. The World Tree swayed continuously, its powerful roots absorbing immense power from an unknown world, converting it all into soul power, supplying Lin Moyu endlessly. Golden lines of light flowed on the World Tree, the divine power from the divine cauldron amplifying the World Tree's power. This turned 1 unit of power into 10, allowing Lin Moyu to recover far faster than normal. Since obtaining the divine power, it had always subtly existed, not usually visible, but its effect was always present. As his realm improved, the effect of the divine power also increased. With or without the divine power, the recovery effect brought by the World Tree was completely different. Supported by the World Tree, Lin Moyu freely consumed his soul power, simulating past events. Gradually, he began to see the light. He finally started to understand the essence of the Cloud Mist sect's philosophy. The violently surging aura finally began to calm, and a smile appeared on Lin Moyu's lips. So that's how it is. He exhaled deeply, opening his eyes after 100 days. A burst of brilliance erupted from his eyes. he had finally comprehended. The so-called change in luck, the alteration of all things, its true source lies in causality. He understood the philosophy of the cloud mist sect. Indeed, everything in the world is constantly changing. On the surface, it seems that luck has improved or worsened. Good luck makes everything smooth for living beings, allowing them to live long. For objects, good luck allows them to exist longer. For some special existences, good luck can even grant them intelligence. For example, Red Star Supreme. There are many stars like him, but few can gain intelligence. The root of good luck lies in causality. Behind the operation of the entire world, there is a hidden, undetectable web called causality. Changes in causality lead to changes in luck. This is the philosophy of the Cloud Mist sect. The root of their various luck techniques lies in causality.